This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium out and about. This Infinium out and about is entitled, Why Men Should Not Pander to Women. Now, my brothers, I'm here in the Deep Creek Lock Park here in Chesapeake, Virginia. And it is a beautiful day. It is getting ready to roll over into early summer. And although it is quite warm out here, it's about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius. But my brothers, nevertheless, it is a wonderful time to be alive as a MGTOW man. And every day that we open our eyes to our freedom, to our walk along the MGTOW pathway, my brothers, even with the obstacles, even with the issues that we face, it is still a wonderful thing to be a free man, a man that is walking towards his freedom and finding out how profound his freedom is in relationship to his life. But my brothers, I want to talk to you about why men should not pander to women. Now, you may have seen the shiz show that happened with Cam Newton and K. Michelle. And this is where Cam Newton had K. Michelle, who is, in my opinion, just a thought. But nevertheless, he had her on his platform, and he was pandering to her.
Black men have a problem, and they need to get their act together, and they need to step up to the plate. And with no tears, she was just crying and ooh, that black men need to help black women, and they need to do better.
And basically, Cam Newton just sat there and pandered to K. Michelle and her BS. And he did not challenge what she was saying. He did not say, well, that's not quite true, K. Michelle. He did not bring up any of the issues that black men face because of black women. But instead, he just basically agreed with her and pandered to her. Again, a woman who has a very checkered past, who, in my opinion, has no right to be speaking about how black men in particular should get their act together. That who, in my opinion, should not be talking about anything about black men needing to get their acts together. And again, my brothers, the issue of what Cam Newton did, instead of challenging K. Michelle, he let her essentially spread the lies and the BS that is not only with black women, but it is all women, that all men are the problems, that men are the problems, and women are exempt from any type of accountability in terms of what is going on, what is happening between men and women. That there is no taking into account what the feminist plantation state, feminism, and women in general are doing to men, not just black men, but all men. My brothers, for Cam Newton to sit there and allow K. Michelle to go unchallenged and to basically, again, pander to her BS was, in my opinion, my brothers, despicable. And Cam Newton, in my opinion, did a great disservice to not only black men, but to men in general. To not challenge K. Michelle on her BS when it is widely known that the issues that we men face are real, they are valid, they are on every level being dismissed by women like K. Michelle and being replaced with, again, the BS and the lies that we men are the problems. We men have to get our acts together. We men have to do better. Step up to the plate. All of these things, my brothers. Again, what Cam Newton did was, in my opinion, a totally despicable act. And it is, in my opinion, unconscionable because he allowed something that has affected not only black men, but all men. And the terrible things that happen to men because of the lies, because of the despicable things that women like K. Michelle spew out of their mouths only adds to the issues and the problems that we men face. My brothers, when a man panders to a woman's lies, and you have to look at the scope and the nature of what is happening. We men, not only black men, but we men are being told that we are the cause of the problems. We have to step up to the plate and fix the problems. We have to take accountability for women's issues. So everything that women are facing right now, we are being held accountable for what has happened to women. Never mind the things that have happened to us, like Me Too. Never mind false allegations. Never mind paternity fraud. Never mind being pulled into divorce court because you were targeted and sized up for divorce rape. Never mind these issues. Never mind being told that you have to pay for a woman's manicure before you take her out on a date. Never mind the types of female narcissism, which is out of control because of feminism, which men have to deal with every day, day in and day out. Never mind these things, my brothers. But yet again, we men are the cause of the problems. Never mind, again, a system which is set up and based upon making money off of our backs, which when we are imprisoned because of things like false allegations or failure to pay for child support, in some cases which those children are not ours, that system is set up to make money off of we men being incarcerated. Never mind the types of things that happen to us, the things that are spewed through YouTube, through social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, on your TV, that we men must suck up and shut up, and we are to take accountability for the problems that women have. That's what Cam Newton did, was to allow that despicable lie that we men are the problem and we are the sole problem when it comes to women. My brothers, again, that is why men should not pander to women's BS, because all it does is perpetuate the BS that they are doing. That's all it does, my brothers. It does nothing to correct issues. All it does is undergird her BS in every possible way. That's what it does, my brothers. It does nothing to aid our cause and what we are dealing with, the types of persecution that we are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, my brothers. It does nothing when you pander. And my brothers, pandering itself, when a man panders to a woman with the despicable lies like K. Michelle spewed on Cam Newton's platform, it is nothing more than simping. And my brothers, as I've stated before in other bits of my content, that simping will result in failure and it will do you no good. And it is the same with pandering. Pandering is nothing more than a component of simping, my brothers. And again, my brothers, when you pander to women, when you pander to women like K. Michelle, you are doing nothing to help yourself, and you're doing everything to damage yourself. My brothers, what pandering does is take the focus and the attention off of we men, the problems that we face, and it puts it on the BS that is being spewed out by women like K. Michelle. That's what it does, my brothers. That is the other issue that we face, that being women trying to draw attention from our problems, from the problems that we face as men, and put it upon them. And in doing so, it negates where that focus should be, because the focus as of right now needs to be on our plight, what we face, not what women face. It is what we have to deal with, what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, ranging from our families to our workplaces, my brothers. The persecution, the ongoing persecution. Again, you live in a state called the feminist plantation state, where you can be falsely accused when you're just minding your business You can be falsely accused of SA and be thrown into jail with no questions asked. You could get a document in the mail and say that a child is yours and you have to pay for that child and you have no knowledge of that child just because a woman saw your name or knew you from work or whatever and put your name down on a birth document and you're ramrodded into paying for that child. You could be married for years, raising kids that you thought were yours. And then because of a DNA test, you find that those children are not yours. And you're forced by association and guilt tripping to take care of those kids because you formed a bond with those kids. You have no right to turn away from those kids. You have no right to walk away from those kids. That is what happens to us, my brothers. It is a myriad of problems. It is not we men having to step up to the plate. It is the need for the persecution that we face as men to come to an end. That's what the problem is, my brothers. It is not we men having to step up to the plate and do better, only to be not appreciated, only to be kicked to the curb, only to be shiz tested. It is not any of those things, my brothers. It is again the end of the persecution, the end of things like feminism. And that's what pandering does. It pushes forth persecution. It pushes forth feminism. It pushes forth the lack of accountability on the part of women. And that is why, my brothers, men like Cam Newton that allow these things, they are acting in a despicable manner because they are hurting men worldwide with this nonsense. My brothers, again, it is not you who is seeking his freedom, who is attempting to better himself, that has to step up to the plate of a woman like K. Michelle. It is K. Michelle who needs to take accountability for her actions. And it is K. Michelle who needs to be quiet. And it is men like Cam Newton who need to stop having these women on their platforms and sucking up to their BS, my brothers. That's what it is. That's what it is about. Now, my brothers, there is in the community a bit of controversy about gatekeeping, not allowing women into our community. My brothers, to be honest with you, this is why I am an advocate of gatekeeping. This is why I am an advocate of keeping women out of the community in terms of having a place to speak, a place to give their opinion, ideas of what we men need to do. This is why. Because again, it allows for the condition of pandering to women. And also, it draws away from where the focus and the attention needs to be, and that is on our issues, the things that we face, the things that we are striving to correct in our lives, my brothers. That is why. And yes, on certain conditions that can seem hard-nosed, but my brothers, I feel it is necessary to do these things, to take these types of actions, because again, we live in a time where men do not have the types of perks, the types of avenues for help. Even with all of the things that have happened with DEI, women still have more of an advantage versus we men in every way possible. We men have literally nothing when it comes to any type of issue that we face. And when we attempt to establish aid for men, it is fought against, it is torn down. The men that try to do these things are persecuted. My brothers, again, these are many, many reasons why, in particular, we MGTOW men should not pander to women in their BS. We should not do it, my brothers. And my brothers, again, look at it in this manner. You have noticed in my content, I constantly harp upon, in particular, we MGTOW men walking in integrity. And my brothers, every day I walk along the MGTOW path, I see the need for myself personally as a MGTOW man to walk in integrity because of things like pandering, because of things like what Cam Newton did. That if I pandered to a woman like K. Michelle, the damage that could be done or added to what is going on can be incomprehensible and can mean setbacks for men. That is why, again, I would urge you, my brothers, to walk in integrity, because integrity, again, causes you to not pander, to have boundaries of what you will or will not accept in terms of women. It will cause you, my brothers, to say no to women that want to take control of your narrative personally, as well as our narrative corporately, my brothers. Your integrity will cause you to see that you have the power because of your mind and because of your ability to critically think, to determine, and to understand what you need to do, what actions you need to take in terms of the course of your life, correcting issues in your life. Not a woman telling you what you need to do, what you have to do, that you have to step up to the plate. That's what integrity will do for you, my brothers. That is why, again, my brothers, I would urge you to be men of integrity, because, again, your integrity will cause you to stand up and to say no to women like K. Michelle. I will not have you on my platform. I will not hear you. I will not consider what you have to say of any worth because it is BS. That is what your integrity will do for you. Your integrity will cause you to be considerate of what your fellow brothers are going through. That is what Cam Newton failed to do. He was inconsiderate of what men are going through by not challenging K. Michelle, and by not challenging K. Michelle, and then also by even having her on his platform. That is what your integrity will do for you, my brothers. It will cause you to stand up to this stuff and to have backbone against this stuff and to continue along the MGTOW pathway towards your freedom without any consideration of BS, of hypocrisy from women like K. Michelle, the feminist plantation state, feminists, and women in general, my brothers. My brothers, again, don't consider the words and the BS of women like K. Michelle, the feminist plantation state, feminists, and women in general to be of any value to you, any value to your walk along the MGTOW path. Because again, if women will not take accountability for their actions and stop blaming we men for everything under the sun, then their issues are invalid. Their problems are invalid, and they should have no consideration when it comes to your walk along the MGTOW pathway, the pathway which is saving our lives as MGTOW men in every way possible. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium out and about. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.